So we said friction, it decreases the speed of an object. And we have two types of surfaces. If we have smooth surface and we have rough surface. Okay, so for example, if we have a box here and we kick this box it will move, for example, till here, then it will stop. And with smooth, for example, if we have box here, it will move till here. Okay, so with smooth surfaces, friction decreases, and with rough surfaces, friction increases. So because the friction is high here, it will not move a big distance, but here friction is low, so it moves longer distance than the second one. So friction increases with rough and decreases with smooth. So friction here, friction what decreases, and here increases. Now, how to find net force? Net force means if we have more than one force acts on an object. If we have more than one force acts on an object, this the total of these forces, we call it net force. Net force. And in our book we have only two different cases, and so easy these cases. The first case, if we have an object and the first one is pulling, and the second one is pulling toward itself, for example F1 and F2. Okay, so we have two forces, and these forces in different direction, and they are equal in the magnitude, means the value. So if, for example, F1 equals 20 Newton and F2 20 Newton, okay, so they have the same magnitude and opposite direction. What will happen? They are equal, so nothing will happen here. The first one will catch or will pull the object toward or to left, and the second one toward right, but this object, it will not move. Okay, so this type of forces, we call it balanced forces. So what are balanced forces? Balanced forces means our forces have the same magnitude and different and opposite direction. So here F net equals what? If they are in opposite direction, you have to subtract. So 20 minus 20 equals 0. The object will stay in its position. So this type of forces, we call it balanced forces. The second type of forces, if one greater than the other or one stronger than the other. For example, if one equals 30 Newton and the second one 10 Newton only. So we know 30 greater than 10. So what will happen? Okay, stronger force will pull the object toward itself. So this object will move where? Right, because F1 30 greater than 10. This type of forces, we call it unbalanced forces. Unbalanced forces are forces that cause change in the position of an object. So this object will move toward what? Toward Right. But the F net here equals what? We said if we have opposite direction, you have to subtract. 30 minus 10 equals 20. If this 30 and this 10, 30 minus 10. You'll put the greater number, then the smaller number, okay? So the F net here equals 20 Newton, where? Right. So again, we have two types of forces, balanced and unbalanced forces. How we can compare between balanced and unbalanced forces? Balanced means the first one equals the second one. What will happen? Nothing. The object will stay in its position. Unbalanced forces, they cause motion toward the greater force. Now, how to find F net? Okay, how to find F net? We have two different cases. We said that before. But here, if the first force here, F1, and the second one, F2, with the same direction. For example, F1 equals 20 Newton and F2 equals 10 Newton. F net equals what? If they are in the same direction, you have to add them together. So F net here equals 20 plus 10 equals 30 Newton. Okay? If we have the same direction, you have to add. If you have different direction, you have to subtract. For example, this and this. Okay. Like this, easy. For example, we said before, for example, if this 60 and this 40 Newton. Okay? So here 60 minus 40 equals 20. Where? Here. Like this. This is F net. And here F net, we'll draw it like this. This is F net. And here F net. Now the third case here. For example, if we have 1, 2, 3. For example, F1 equals 30 Newton. F2 equals 40 Newton. F3 equals 50 Newton. Okay? Now how to find the net force? Okay? So to find the resultant force or the net force, here we have two main steps. We know here this force and this force with the same direction, so you have to add this with this. So here 40 plus 30 equals 70 Newton. And the second force is 50. So now we have to subtract 70 minus 50 equals 20. 20 where? 20 where? Toward right, because this, so this is F net. So F net will be here.